everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today is officially December 1st. It is the first day of the Back to Kindle Readathon. So I figured I'd start with the ones that are already on my TBR, with the ebooks that I already have, and then go from there and into my wheel after I read the ones that are already on my TBR. So that way I have a little bit of everything. And the ones I have already on my TBR are like 4 completely different genres. I have 1 romantasy, 1 historical fiction, 1 romance, and 1 thriller. So literally 4 different genres of ebooks already on my TBR. So I figured that'd be like a good mix to start with. And I decided, I did a poll on the Discord for the Back to Kindle Readathon of what I should start with before I go and then start with those books before I get into my wheel. And so the winner of the poll that was decided for me of what I should start with is Our Vicious Oaths by N.E. Davenport. This is a romantasy that I don't really know much about, but I've been hearing really good things lately. And it's starting to creep up everywhere I go. It's all over Instagram. It's also in a L'Oreal book. I'm starting to see people talk about it a little, like people putting this on their TBRs over on BookTube. So I figured I'll get in on this game and try it for myself. And I borrowed it off of KU, so that way I can, if I like it enough to buy a physical copy. I don't want to buy a physical copy with me not knowing much about it. But sometimes I buy books with not knowing much about it, usually. But most of the times I buy books that I think I know more about. But I'm going to try this one first and see how it goes, and then decide from there. So I'm only just pulling this up now because it's like 2:15 in the morning. I might read a little bit before I go to sleep. I'm not exactly tired yet. I did sleep in quite a bit the day before, till like 11:30. I mean, it's not like I had anything to do anyway, except for my live show, which didn't start till like 2. But it's all good. So I have time to do a little bit of reading now if I want to. So I might do a little bit before I go to sleep. At least get it started and see what happens. I'm going to try to go into this with no expectations. Because the last few books, I've been going in with super high expectations. And I really shouldn't have. So I'm going to try going into this one with no expectations and see how that turns out. So wish me luck. I'm going to get started. I will update you guys a little bit later once I have more read. So I'll see everybody later. It is now Tuesday, December 2nd at about almost 9:20 in the morning. Normally I'd still be asleep. I don't like getting up this early. However, I do have a doctor's appointment coming up soon that I have to leave for, which is the only reason why I'm awake this early. Under normal circumstances, I would still be sleepy. But I want to give you guys an update on what I've read so far in Our Vicious Oaths. I am currently about 52% in, about to start chapter 22. And I'm glad I went in with no expectations because I'm really enjoying this so far. I feel like this is the first book I went into with no expectations. I think that's a better way of going into books and not have super high expectations going in. Because I feel like every time I go in with super high expectations, they always let me down. But so far, this is a fun one. I'm really enjoying this. So we're kind of following this girl named Khadisha, where her father set her up to be married. However, the main male character swoops in, ruins everything, and takes her away, and takes her to his castle, where he's a king of his own kingdom. And the banter between the two of them is top tier. I absolutely love their banter, and I love Kadisha as a main female character. I just feel like I have a feeling she's going to be one of my favorite female characters, because I don't get very many of those where like the whole time that she sticks up for herself. Like she's like the first strong female badass characters that I'm like really into. Like she gives me like Selena vibes from Throne of Glass, and maybe a little bit of Farah from Akatar. Like the mix between the two a little. They're very, I feel like she's a very similar character to them. She doesn't back down for no one. And like she has her own warriors. Like she leads her own squadron with these animals called Congo Matos. I think that's how you pronounce it. I just think it's so cool that she commands her own army. Kind of like Manon a little bit in Throne of Glass. That's another character she reminds me of, is Manon. And maybe that's why, because Manon's my favorite character from Throne of Glass. I think that's who I'm trying to compare her to more of, is Manon, really. But I am super invested in this story. Like, where we're at, like, I'm loving the banter. I love the two main characters together. Like, she's totally playing him, he's totally playing her. And they don't know that about each other. Which I think is freaking hilarious. But this girl, Kadisha, I just think is so cool. Like, she has her own aether fire, which is really interesting. And like how and I love how she's super protective over her squadron. Like she calls them her sisters. And I love how she's so protective of them and would take care of them regardless, and how they're like best friend sister relationship. I absolutely love that in this book. And it's kind of the same thing for the main male character. What's his name again? Malachi. Like he treats his own inner circle kind of the same, like, you know, brother sister kind of relationship. So, and I love seeing that and romanticy, because you don't see that very often. And I'm just absolutely loving this so far, and I'm just over halfway. However, I don't think I'll be able to read much today, so I'm going to my doctor's appointment, and after that I'm going to the movies for a double feature day. So I'm seeing Zootopia 2, and then we're seeing Wicked 2. And because it's Tuesday, they do like a Tuesday special deal. It's like $5 all day for anybody per ticket. And Ray's coming with me, so technically for both movies we only have to spend $20, and we have cash. So I'm like, cool, let's do it. So I'll be spending all day at the movies after my doctor's appointment, so I might not get any reading done till I actually get home, which probably might not be until like 7 or so. But I am interested in seeing where the story goes. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I know they're playing each other, which I think is so funny. So, but that's all I really know so far. I know what Malachi wants to do. However, I don't think it's going to get done the way he wants it to. I feel like there's going to be something in his way. I'm really hoping this could really surprise me and end up being a favorite. That'd be so cool. Because I think it helps just going in with being like, okay, let's read this for the first time and see how it goes. Like, there's just no expectations whatsoever. And I'm really having a great time. So hopefully I could get back to reading later tonight when I'm home. And I will tell you what my thoughts are on the movies, because I'm very excited to see the new Wicked movie. And on top of that, I love Zootopia, so I'm excited to see the second one. So it's going to be a fun time, and I'm excited to have a fun day. So I'll give you guys an update once I'm home later, and maybe I'll wait till I get some reading in and then give you guys an update on everything. So hopefully I will see you guys later on tonight when I have some more to talk about. So I will see you all then. It is now Thursday at almost 5 p.m. And it's sad to say, I didn't get much reading done in that time. And I know it's been a while since I gave you guys an update. I've had some stuff happen this week, health-wise, that came up that I had to deal with. Which is why I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted to. But I did finally finish Our Vicious Oaths today. Finally. Took me a few days, but I did get there. And I didn't realize this was a standalone. I thought this was going to be like a series. Then I found out it was a standalone, which made so much more sense after finishing it. So, because for me personally, I did enjoy the story. However, the romance part, I felt a little bit rushed to me. Not like... It makes sense why, since it's not going to be a series, like I thought. I mean, they did reveal all the love stuff came up towards the end, which technically would make sense in a book. However, I kind of wished they waited. I wish this was going to be a series and then they were going to like reveal their love in like the second book or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it's just something about the romance part that just felt a little bit rushed. I want them to be enemies so much longer. I mean, I understand why it all came together the way that it did. Just other times, I was getting kind of bored with the romance aspect. I think the romance was just a little too much for me. I think it was a little bit heavy-handed in this book. I mean, there were times when they had spicy scenes back to back. And like a little bit too much for me personally. Normally, I don't mind spicy scenes in a book. However, there are times when I feel like there's too many. It kind of detracts from the book in some cases. And in this case, it kind of did for me. Overall, I did enjoy the political intrigue in it and the court politics they had going on. That part, I think I enjoyed a little bit more than the romance. But I really liked Khadisha, though, as a main character. She really had a backbone. Like, she reminded me of Selena from the Throne of Glass series. And, yeah, mostly Selena. Maybe a little bit of Feyre from ACOTAR. But mostly Selena. Because, like, kind of like Manon in Throne of Glass, she gets to ride on this animal called a Congo Matos, I think it's called. I didn't listen to the audio, so I have no clue. But, like, she just gave me vibes of Manon and Selena a little bit. Because she gets to ride a really cool animal and go to war. Which I thought was really cool. I really enjoyed that aspect. And about how she had her own squadron and how she called them her sisters and how they were so close and they would have each other's backs. I really love that aspect the most, I think, and her relationship that she had with those girls. I wish we saw more of. I know we saw some, but I wish we saw more. But overall, I did really enjoy the story, so it wasn't terrible in my opinion. I really had fun with it. I just felt the romance was a little bit rushed and too many spicy scenes for me. But overall, had a good time. So I'm giving it a solid 4 stars. And I don't know how much reading I'm gonna have left for the rest of the week, because I'm starting the week 2 vlog probably either Sunday or Monday. I haven't decided yet. But I did need to find a book after finishing that one for another challenge that I'm doing. It's like a Lindsay from She's Book to Busy put together this little like bingo reading challenge. Me and a few other booktubers and some other people like on Instagram, where like we have our own little chat and like she'll call a number. If we have the number, we mark it off and we read the book for that week. So that's what I've been doing. And so the new number that came up, I had on my board, and it said to read a book set in your favorite season. For me, that's spring. And it took some while for me to find a book I could read on my Kindle for the Back to Kindle Readathon, because I wanted to read something for that as well as the bingo challenge. But I finally found something. It took me a while to find something, because I could not think of anything for the life of me for the longest time. Then I realized I'm in the middle of a series where a lot of it is in spring for the most part. Like, there's a lot of flowers and stuff. And that's the Belladonna series that I completely forgot about. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to continue this series. And I'm pretty sure a lot of this series is set in the springtime. So I decided to go with the next book in the series that I haven't read yet, and that is Wisteria by Adeline Grace. And I cannot wait to read this. I borrowed this off of Libby. Technically, I actually have a physical copy of this. But for the Back to Kindle Readathon, we're only supposed to read books on our Kindle. So I found on Libby that it was available to borrow. So I borrowed it so I could read it on my Kindle. And that way I don't dirty up my physical copy. So I'm very excited to dive on in and finally get to Bliss story. Is that how you pronounce her name? Bliss, Blythe, however you pronounce it. But she's my favorite character from the series. So I'm really excited to dive on in. I think this is going to be a fun time. And eventually, at some point, I do want to get the novella Holly. But for my understanding, you have to finish this book first. So that's my plan. So I'm going to get on started, and hopefully I'll have some reading updates for you guys much later once I have some reading in. So I will see you all then. It is now about 3:20 p.m. on Friday. I want to give you guys an update on Wisteria. I'm about 52% in, about to start chapter 18. Might be kind of hard to see because of the glare. But I'm really enjoying Wisteria so far. Like, the first book in the series, Belladonna, was my absolute favorite. Foxglove, as I was saying, Belladonna is my favorite in the series. Foxglove, I did not love nearly as much. Unfortunately, that was a 2-star. But I really want Wisteria to be my new favorite of the series, because I absolutely love these characters. Like Blith and Eris, I think that's how you pronounce their names, are just, like, the banter between them is so funny, and I'm really enjoying their banter. The way they go back and forth, and they're sniping at each other. It's just way too funny. And then they're trying to put on a facade for her father about, like, you know, everything's all well and good. And even though there's so much more going on that he does not know about. But I am really having so much fun with this. I mean, I'm already at like 52%. Like, I want to know what the last half's going to be like. And I already have predictions on who I think Life actually is. For those who've read Foxglove, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read the series yet, I do recommend that you should. Because Belladonna was like 5 stars for me. And then, like, the predictions I have so far, I have a pretty good idea of who I think is actually Life. Because Life was, if you've read the series, is Eris was, Life was his first wife way back when, like a century something ago. And he has been pining for her ever since. So I'm pretty sure I know who she is. If I'm wrong, so help me, I will be shocked. But I'm pretty sure I have an idea of who she actually is. But of course, I'm only 52% in. Things can change. You never know. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to it. Hopefully I should have a reading update for you guys later. I am loving this book. I cannot wait to see what happens. So I will update you guys hopefully later on once I have some more news. It is still Friday, but it's just after 6 p.m. and I just finished Wisteria. Don't know why I just clapped.
Good question, Amanda. Why did you clap?
I have no idea.
Only you can tell us.
And I actually really enjoyed Wisteria. I did, my prediction about who I thought Life was did come true. I was hoping I was wrong, but I was right. But there was something else that happened at the end that I did not see coming. And I thought it was going to stay that way. But those who have read Wisteria probably know what I'm talking about. That little twist at the end, and then all of a sudden, like, it's such a happy ending at the end of the epilogue. I kind of wish it wasn't so simple. I kind of wish there was more to it, and more like... I know the author tried to stretch this out as much as she could. So I'm not faulting the author on that. I think it's a me problem. I've been having issues with trying to find the right book that has like the right balance of romance and the right balance of unpredictability and fun plots, and I don't know, things have just not been catching my interest as much. Not that this was a bad book, I did enjoy it. I think it's because this series has been so hyped up in my head for so long, because I loved the first book. Belladonna was 5 stars. Second book, Foxglove, was a 2-star. Because I just was not as into it. But this one, I think I'm landing at a 4-star. Because I did really enjoy it. It was mostly predictable, except for that one little twist at the end. But the epilogue, I felt, just wrapped it up way too nicely. And I kind of wanted an ending that wasn't a happy ending in this one. If that makes any sense. I kind of wanted something a little bit more realistic and not so far-fetched. But then again, you know, some of this stuff is far-fetched because it's fantasy. So I get why it had to happen. I just wish that it didn't. It's kind of hard to explain it in my head. So I'm probably not making much sense to some people, but sorry if that's the case. I wanted the series to wrap up a certain way, and I just felt like that certain way didn't happen. It just went a different direction than what I wanted it to. However, I am still interested in reading the novella Holly, because I really do like the characters overall. So I will at some point read the novella. However, it's not a priority anytime soon. But I would like to check it out at some point. So it's not like I have to have right now. But now that's over, we're gonna mark that as a 4-star. I say overall, I think the best book in the series for me was the first book. Belladonna was perfection in my eyes. Just the other 2 books didn't quite measure up to the first one for me, unfortunately. I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad series. It's just, well, it is what it is. So now we're moving on to our next book for this week. I decided I need something that's not fantasy. So we're going with a romance. And we are going with The Defender by Ana Juan. This is a highly, highly, highly anticipated read for me. I absolutely loved Vincent in The Striker, which is the first book in the series. This is the second book, The Defender, and I have been waiting to devour this book. Vincent was my favorite character in The Striker. And I'm like, I need his story. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my screen was starting to black out. Let me fix that. Alright, there we go. So, I am very, very super excited to read this now. I need a palate cleanser. Desperately. because each book that I've been trying to read has been mostly fantasy or dystopian, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe fantasy is just not my vibe right now. So I feel like I need to break that up with something different. And since I've been highly anticipating this, and I haven't started it yet, I think now would be the perfect time to read it. Because I'm obsessed with Vincent, loved him in The Striker, and The Striker was a 4-star for me. But because I love Vincent so much, I mean, I want to predict this to be 5 stars, but I'm very, very bad at predicting 5 stars lately. So I'm not going to say it. But I'm going to hope. We will see. I am very excited. So I'm going to get started, and hopefully I'll have a read update for you guys either later tonight or tomorrow. I'm hoping tonight, because I'm hoping to devour this book. So I'll keep you guys updated. I will see you all later. Hi guys, it is now going into Saturday, about 2:30 in the morning. I was going to do an update earlier when I was reading The Defender. However, I was like obsessed and I didn't want to stop to do an update. I just wanted to keep going. And I fell in love with this book. I have not had a 5 stars since September. As of now, I have a new favorite. An actual 5-star that I haven't had in months.
Nice.
So I am very happy. I was obsessed. This was a majorly anticipated read for me. Vincent is a new all-time favorite book boyfriend. I absolutely adore him.
Is Raymond in trouble?
But like, I love him as like a person, and just the way he treats other people, and the way he treats Brooklyn, adorable. Like the two of them together are like hashtag couple goals. You should see the look on Ray's face right now. It's kind of funny.
Too late now.
But honestly, like everything they went through together, and how they came out on the other side of it, and everything that Vincent went through, what Brooklyn went through, like my heart went out to them both. I really actually happened to really connect with Brooklyn. I felt a lot of the things she went through with her family, I totally felt the same. I could see like everything she went through, like I totally connected with. I felt like she was me because I've been through similar things, and I absolutely loved her journey and coming into getting to know herself better and knowing what she deserves. I love that for her, and I like honestly aspire to be like her. I need to be more. I've always had issues in my life thinking I'm not a priority for people. So like when she was going through similar things, I'm like, my heart really went out to her because I felt the same. Like I totally got where she was coming from, and the way she got that from Vincent, the way he prioritized her over anybody in his life, including his job. I just thought they were so perfect together, in the way like he was there for her no matter what. It reminded me of my relationship with Ray, because Ray's always done the same thing with me, and I just in Vincent and Brooklyn, I saw myself in Ray in that book. So that's probably why I loved it so much, was because I saw us in that. I felt like I was her and Ray was Vincent, if that makes any sense. That's probably why I gave it a 5-star, because of how relatable they were and how I've been through similar things, and it was just like the perfect book at the perfect time. This was a book I really needed to read, and I'm so glad that I finally did. It was such... I was like hyping this book up so much in my head, and usually when I do that, it doesn't end up so well later. However, in this case, it was appropriately hyped. Absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to continue the series. I cannot wait for Karina's story. I think it's going to be amazing. I just have that feeling. The first book, The Striker, was a 4-star. I have a feeling the rest of the series is going to be like even higher. Like, I'm hoping this will turn into maybe a 5-6-star series eventually. So I cannot wait for the next book. I am obsessed. Vincent, most definitely all-time favorite book boyfriend ever. He's right up there with Dom from One Last Rainy Day.
Oh boy.
If you liked the Ravenhood trilogy and you loved Dom as much as I did, you have to read this book. I would, like, honestly, he was that amazing. And I want more of him. If I can ever find another book with him in it besides the rest of the series, you know I'm going to be diving into it, no matter what. I mean, this author, I love the way she writes. She makes characters so relatable, and I love that. So I can't wait to read more. Now I need to pick my next book. And because I'm doing this back to Kindle Readathon, there are prompts on this bingo board. So I'm trying to get to a bingo. So this next book that I picked out, I actually already have a physical copy for, and it's in my 10 before the end. But it was also on KU. So I downloaded it onto my Kindle. A lot of words I can't talk today. Don't know why. Because it's on KU, I figured I would read it on my Kindle for the Kindle Readathon, since obviously you have to read on your Kindle. So I chose Severed Heart by Kate Stewart. Because Vincent reminded me so much of Dom from this series, I needed to go back to Kate Stewart. I just knew I needed to. Plus, this will help me get a bingo. I am 2 prompts away in a row to fulfill that. And I can also double up. And those 2 prompts work perfectly for this book. It has to be over 300 pages. And the other prompt was I need to read before the end of this year. And obviously this is in my 10 before the end, so obviously that works. And it's over 700 pages. So that also works for the over 300 prompt. So I know it's late. I might read a bit, but whatever I don't read tonight, I will definitely read later. So I am excited to get into Tyler's story once and for all. Maybe we'll get glimpses of Dom, which would be amazing. I don't know if we will, but if there's any mention of Dom in here, that would be amazing. But we will see. But I am excited to read Tyler's story and see where that one goes. So I'm going to get started, see what I can read tonight. Whatever I don't read, I will definitely catch up with you guys tomorrow with some kind of update. So hopefully tomorrow I will see you guys with some more news.
Hopefully.
It is now Sunday, almost 8 p.m. at night, and I just finished Severed Heart by Kate Stewart. I was going to do an update earlier when I was like halfway through, but I decided to wait and actually finish it before I give all my thoughts, because it's kind of hard with this particular book to give thoughts halfway, because I didn't want to give anything away. But then again, I don't want to give anything away in this either. So I will try my best to, describe how I feel about this book. Like, I really, really enjoyed it overall. Like, it tugged at my heartstrings quite a bit, because we get Tyler's backstory and we get Delphine's backstory. And some of the stuff that they've been through is, like, heartbreaking. And that ending was so sad. Like, I was tearing up because of, for those who've read the original series to this, which was the Ravenhood series with Flock, Exodus, and The Finish Line. If you've read those books, you'll understand how emotional the impact of these stories are. Because the characters in this book, a lot of them were also in the original series. So the Legacy series that Severed Heart is a part of is like a spin-off series. So we're getting like characters that were in the original series. We're getting their backstories. So we still get to see characters from the main series in the series as well, but we get a lot more than we would have otherwise. And then
the big question is,
yeah,
the big question, was Dom around in the book?
yes, Dom was in this book, and I was very, very happy that he was, because he is my favorite. For those who've read the series, know how heartbreaking his story is, and still, even like reliving some of it in this one, still heartbreaking. Like, there were so many emotional things in this story that had me like in a chokehold, and then there were other times when I wish we could get past certain parts. Like, I felt like there were scenes in this that could have been taken out that weren't necessarily needed. I did think this book needed to be over 700 pages. I felt like it could have been edited down a little bit, and we could still get a good story out of it. I think it would have been 5 stars if it was edited down, because I really enjoyed it, but there are parts that dragged for me a little bit, which is why I wasn't quite a 5 star. But because I love Tyler and Delphine and their stories, like everything they've been through, like there's so much to unpack in this book. It's hard to talk about it without giving away spoilers. But if you've read the original series, where they came from, it would make more sense to you. Like, everything that we see with them in the main series, everything's all tied together. And one of my favorite parts is a revelation in a way that I can't really talk about unless you've read it. But it has to do with the character Zach. I will say that. However, if you want to know what I'm talking about, you need to read this book, because I can't give it away, because it's a huge, huge spoiler. And I really adore Zach. He's such, like, what Zach went through as well is also rough. So, yeah, there's also a lot of trigger warnings in this. So if you have any triggers of any kind, definitely look up your trigger warnings, because there's a lot in this book that dives into really rough subjects. So if you want to know your triggers, make sure you look those up, because some of those were really rough reading. It gives it an understanding when it comes to Delphine especially. But I definitely recommend looking up your triggers, because for some people it might be a little bit hard for them. But overall, I really had a good time with it, and seeing where it came from and why they act the way that they did in the main series. So I appreciate it for that. And it was definitely a sad ending. But it also had a lot of amazing quotes that I highlighted on my Kindle, because it was like the quotes. Kate Stewart knows how to string together a really good sentence, I have to admit. So I love Kate Stewart for that. And I cannot wait for the next book of the series, Birds of a Feather. It was supposed to come out in December. However, it got pushed into 2026. So we won't get the next book until, I think, May of 2026, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember if it was March or May. Somewhere around there. But I will be reading the next book in the series. So I am very excited for that one. But now that I finished that book, I was able to mark off 2 more prompts on my bingo board for the readathon. And it gave me a bingo. My first bingo of this readathon. So I'm very happy about that. Now we're moving on. Since I don't have a lot of time left in the day, because I'm going to start a new vlog starting tomorrow, I figured I'd fit in those couple of novellas that were on my TBR, just so I could get a little bit more reading in tonight. So the next one I'm going to pick up is Merry Little Bookshop by Allie Brady. I don't know if you can see that cover. It's kind of hard for it to focus. It it does have my favorite color on the cover as well, which is a prompt for the bingo board, which is why I'm using that, which is pink. I love pink. And I'm very excited to read more Allie Brady. So I think I might try and fit in this little novella and the other novella that she's got that I also own. Besides My Little Bookshop, I think the other one is called something about Christmas and... I can't remember. It was one day to something. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to look it up. But this and the other novella, I want to see if I can try and knock them out tonight. So I could start fresh tomorrow with a new vlog. So I'm going to get started on the first novella. I might wait till I finish both novellas and then talk about both of them in my update. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. I will catch up with you guys later once I've read the novellas, so I will catch up with you guys later. I am back. It is now going into Monday at 2 a.m. So I figured I will end this vlog with the books I just finished. I read both novellas by Allie Brady, Merry Little Bookshop, and one, what was the other one called again? One Night, Two Holidays. That was the other one. And I really enjoyed them both. The first one I read was Merry Little Bookshop. I am obsessed with that novella. It was like the perfect representation of both Christmas and Hanukkah. And I really connected with the characters. I absolutely adored it. That one was an easy 5 stars. And I love the slow burn romance that was built up in it. Absolute perfection. I haven't read a single Allie Brady that I have not loved. So I am very happy. That one was a huge hit. Absolutely adored it. Like, if you need a quick holiday romance for December and you want something that's not too long, Merry Little Bookshop is also on KU, and I devoured it. I absolutely loved it. That was my favorite one out of the 2 novellas. The second novella, One Night, Two Holidays. That one I also did really enjoy. However, that one was not quite a 5 star. The reason being, I felt it wasn't... I mean, it was realistic, as in like the obstacles that happened in it. But also at the same time, it wasn't realistic enough that someone would want to pursue a relationship after only one night with a person. I mean, one night. It took me, right, at least a month. Well, before we actually were like in a solid relationship. I feel like one night is just not enough. I feel like they jumped into it way too fast. I get having a one night stand and then seeing where things go potentially. But saying you're in a relationship after one night and falling in love with that person that quickly? I mean, I get if you know, but at the same time, I don't think you should use the L word that fast, in my opinion. But overall, I still really enjoyed it. It was also a good representation of both Christmas and Hanukkah. I just thought My Little Bookshop did it better. So, the One Night, Two Holidays ended up being a 4 star. I still recommend if you just want a quick holiday read. And this is where I'm going to end this week's vlog, because I am about to start the second week vlog. So we're going to end this off on a good note that we read some really good holiday novellas that I really enjoyed. And let's go into the second week, hopefully, with some great reads. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, give me a huge thumbs up. If you got to the end of this video and you don't feel like being chatty, why don't you leave me a Christmas tree? And how about a menorah for Hanukkah, if you can find one? So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more bookish content and the next week vlog, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all in the next one.